Jonbenet was killed?
Well, you know, I've had two different very experienced people look at it. One was Lou Smith, who was a detective brought in by the DA early on to look at the case because he didn't think the police were, you know, headed the right direction. Lou, within a month or two, said, no, the family didn't do it. There's plenty of evidence to point to an intruder, and that's the direction we ought to be going. Lou felt it was a kidnapping gone wrong, that it was a kidnapping, and something went wrong and didn't happen. I also got to know a fellow by the name of John Douglas, who started the whole FBI profiling program. He interviewed over 5,000 of the worst criminals and became this pretty good profiler to predict who did this or what his characteristics are. And he said, this is not about your daughter. This is about you. Somebody was either angry, very angry at you, or very jealous of you. And this was done to hurt you. And I was like, oh man, that's a hard pill to swallow, number one. And number two, I've never made anybody that mad that I know of. I can't imagine that. He said, you may not even know him. It's just somebody that this was done to hurt you. And in my mind, those are conflicting theories, but then somebody said, well, maybe it was somebody that was trying to hurt you and they were going to kidnap your daughter, and that failed. So I thought, well, that makes sense. That takes these two very experienced people and their theories are compatible. I think he's right, I'm afraid to say, but we won't know till we find this creature.
So as far as we know, the killer is still out there?
Oh, he is, of course. Now, he may be in prison, he may be dead, but he's out there.
But you need justice.
And we need justice, absolutely. That's just, you know, I've dealt with that whole issue, too, over the last 25 years, the issue of forgiveness. How do you forgive something like this? And I've told people, if you'd have put this creature in my presence in a room, we won't need a trial. And I would have no remorse. I was so angry and wanting to deal with it. And then I thought, well, that makes me just as big of a criminal as this person. So that's not really a good solution, even though I knew I had that anger in me and I would have absolutely no remorse. Then I moved into, well, I can't forgive because Jonbenet was a victim. I'm not the victim. I'm a bystander. And then I realized finally that forgiveness is really a gift you give yourself. You've got to release that desire, that anger, and move on. And it doesn't matter if the person you're forgiving wants to be forgiven or not, or even ask for forgiveness, but you've got to move on. And that concept of forgiveness is a way to move on.